Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to another video. Yes, it's that time. It's time to start planning ahead for 2022 travel. Now, if I am to be honest, I'm really not sure what 2022 will bring. I just know that I'm ready to get back to traveling, and I have some things on my travel to-do list already that I hope I can accomplish in 2022. So this video is all about travel planning. I am going to be sharing my travel wish list and my travel to-do list for 2022. Now, I will caveat that to say, who knows what will happen, where the world will take us as we continue on with the pandemic. So this is my wish list and my to-dos, but I do intend to be flexible as we go into the new year. I went ahead and pulled out my planner. This is the Erin Condren planner. I shared in a previous video that I am debating if I want to retire this planner early, but a part of me feels like I spent good money on this planner. My channel isn't large enough yet to get Erin Condren sponsorship, but I did purchase this planner with my own money. Overall, I do like the planner. I just wrestle a little bit with my thoughts around the brand and the founder. But overall, this is a good planner option if you are looking for a planner. I do have a link down in the description box where you can save money. So all is not bad in the world. And I specifically use this planner for my family budget and financial goals. So this includes our savings plan for 2021. So from mid-year 2021 to the end of the year, our savings plan is in here. And as we go into 2022, I will pull this planner back out to do a 2022 savings plan. I will outline our 2022 goals. I will also set up our 2022 sinking funds. So if you are curious about what sinking funds are and how you can leverage them in your life for your family and finances, then go ahead and hit subscribe because you don't want to miss the upcoming Plan With Me, Budget Plan With Me content that's coming out on my video. The reason that I include travel planning in the budget planner is because traveling costs a lot of money. We are a family, my husband and I, and 3 children, and then my bonus son, who is a young adult, is excited about traveling in the future. So with that will come a heavy expense load just because there's so many of us. So I include it in my budget planner primarily for that reason, so that I can account for it in our financials. When we're planning travel, I try to plan in advance so that I can account for it each month as a part of our budget. Sometimes I would like to set up sinking funds so that I can allocate a small amount of money every month towards the travel plan. I went ahead and outlined some of my travel. I wanted to go and do a separate video where I travel planned live, but I went ahead and did it just so I could see what the travel itinerary could possibly look like in 2022. So I won't share it on camera just because I do have specific details around dates, locations, and hotel information, and I don't want to share that information in advance for safety reasons. But I will talk you through my thought process as I am preparing to plan our 2022 travel. The first thing I did was split out my pages. So in the back of this planner, you have blank journal pages. So I used a blank page just on the back side of this, and I did the first half of 2022 and the second half of 2022 on the sides of the paper. That gave me an opportunity to split the year in half so that I can manage some of our travel load. So for example, in Q1 and Q2, I wrote down everything that was business related, family related, and the same for Q3 and Q4. It is mostly family related in the second half of the year, as well as a potential mom vacation in the second half of the year. And why did I put this down here? Oh, I put it in Q3 and Q4 because there's 2 other items that may be potential for business travel. So it helps me to see how my year will fall. I also color coded this spread. I have business in green. I have family related in like an orange color, and then a couples kind of line item in pink. Then like personal travel just for me, like mom vacations. Momcations is what I like to call them. They're in blue. So I color coded everything so I can pinpoint it nicely throughout the year. I started out in Q1 just outlining some business travel. The first that I'll go ahead and share is I would like to go to Go Wow 2022. It's not set in stone, but I've been eyeing that conference for many years now. I think since they started, I want to say they've been going on for 4 or 5 years. I'm not sure. If you've been to Go Wow before, then leave me a comment and let me know your experience. But that is a conference for planners. I am a planner nerd, planner enthusiast. Well, I'm not an enthusiast at this point because I have a whole suite of planners and I love planning. I coach other moms and working women how to leverage planning so that they can achieve their goals and live a balanced life. So I'm past planner enthusiast at this point. I like to consider myself a planner guru. So I would love to be in the room amongst just the energy and my fellow planner lovers and stationery lovers too, because I believe that's a component of it. So anywho, that's one of the items that I outlined. There's another business conference that I'm looking to attend around the January time frame, and then a second business conference that's closer towards the spring break time frame. For spring break, my children, we were supposed to take them to Vegas in 2021, but with the lingering pandemic, we're not real comfortable with traveling with them right now for that distance. So we are rethinking what we do for the holidays. That was going to be their Christmas gift this year, to go and enjoy a new place, a new city, a new state, and to have a new experience. And I know you're probably thinking, you were really going to take your kids to Vegas? Yes, we were. And I will do a whole separate video around that travel planning idea, hopefully in the coming months, because we may pivot and change that trip to align with their spring break of 2022. And then I also like to write down other options. So I have spring break, and I wrote down like Las Vegas. We talked about taking them to Puerto Rico. Prior to the pandemic, we had a trip that we were planning for Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And then, of course, to visit family. So that pretty much sums up the first half of the year. And then I put some nice to haves for the family. And these will be contingent upon the budget. But I would love to take a trip to Mexico, or, you know, we found some really nice treehouse themed Airbnbs that are in the woods. They're really beautiful, and they're, you know, options all across the country. I believe at this point I've seen some other YouTube videos that have done travel to tree houses through Airbnb. So perhaps we might have the opportunity to incorporate that into the schedule. So I did flag it as a nice to have, not something that's set in stone, not something that's mandatory. Well, to be honest, none of this is really set in stone. But these are just, you know, some travel ideas that I like to drop down. For the second half of the year, we are looking to take our children to Disney. We did have a Disney trip planned the first year of the pandemic, and that naturally was canceled because of lockdown. So that is something that we've kept in our back pocket in terms of what we would like to do with our children. So perhaps there'll be a trip for the summertime. We also missed out on a cruise due to the pandemic, and we have the voucher. I actually need to call to ensure that the voucher has not expired. So we were given travel credit. We weren't issued a refund. So I do need to ensure we didn't allow that travel credit to lapse at this point, just for lack of responsiveness. So I have that on my to-do list to investigate and to ensure that we still have access to that travel credit. With that being said, we will need to book something, but that's going to be more for my husband and my stepson. So hopefully they'll be able to use that and continue on with their trip that they had previously planned. The next are 2 ideas for a couple's trip. We would like to do possibly like a Westgate Events weekend, or visit a Black-owned resort and spa for the weekend, or an extended weekend. So I did jot down some notes around that. And then a momcation. I am a huge fan of taking solo momcation vacations. My first solo trip was for my birthday. I believe it was right at the start of the pandemic, so 2020. Right before the world shut down in March, I went on a vacation to Miami by myself for my birthday. It was a momcation, a mom vacation just for me, no kids, time to think, time to just focus on self-care. I did a little bit of work for my business, a lot of travel, you know, what do you call them? Like tours and things like that. I did that. Took a lot of time to just rest, relax. It was fantastic. So I did pencil one in for October of 2022, and hopefully I'll be able to do a group trip at that time. So if you've taken any group trips, I know there are a ton of companies out there that offer group trips so that you don't have to travel solo, although I don't mind traveling solo. I don't mind traveling by myself. But if you've taken a group trip where an organizer curated the trip or the experience, or you've leveraged one of the bigger names in the travel industry, let me know down in the comments. You don't have to give details if you don't want to give details, but just let me know how your experience was. The other option is a girls trip. I'm not sure if my friends want to travel this year or if any of my other friends in my circle would want to travel this year, but I put TBD just in case something pops. We've not had the opportunity to really travel over the last, year and a half to 2 years. So if somebody says, hey, you want to take a trip? I'm always down. So I did pencil something like that in. And the last two things are potential meetings and two other conferences. One conference actually will be confirmed for me in 2022. I just don't know the dates or details, but it is a professional development conference that I will be able to attend as a result of being a member. So those are my 2022 travel aspirations, my 2022 travel to-dos. As you can see, a lot of placeholders. So what does that mean? Where do I go from here? Well, the first thing that I have to do is earmark some budget dollars for each trip. I will go out and get kind of a preliminary look at what hotels will cost, what flights may cost. It's a little early to start getting flight prices, but I can look at average prices for certain destinations coming out of my airport, and that'll help me to understand kind of a window or a range, if you will, for what the travel will cost. And I will also go in and look at how long we will be or I will be in each destination. And if it's all of us as a family, then of course the food cost goes up. If it's just me, I can manage the food costs for myself with some coupons, some, travel hacks when it comes to finding deals for food. So I'm not too concerned about myself, but when it comes to the kids, of course, you have to have snacks, you have to factor in, just all of that other fun stuff that comes with traveling with kids. So I want to make sure that I earmark some dollars for each trip. Once I do that, I'll total it up and I'll see what the damage is. That'll also help me to understand how we need to negotiate in terms of our destinations. For example, if we start to rack up quite a large bill in terms of traveling with the family, we'll reevaluate some of our trips. So spring break, we do have some stretch locations and destinations that will require flights. Well, instead of taking a trip that will require a flight, we can always drive and pick a destination that's within driving distance. So that's one way that we can manage the travel budget so that it's a bit more affordable if we notice that the budget is getting blown out of the roof. I don't like to kind of say, oh, we're going to allocate $5,000 for travel, $10,000 for travel, $50,000 for travel over the course of the year. I'd rather do a bottoms-up approach. These are our aspirations. These are, kind of what we've been dreaming of in terms of travel. How can we make it fit with our budget? I'll guesstimate on the total. I'll try to come close. I'll overshoot just a little bit just to give some cushion. And then I'll total it up and then we'll start to negotiate from there. So that's my approach. And it's always helpful because I'm not a stickler for certain travel destinations. I'm not someone who says, oh, I need to go to Paris in 2022. I want to go to Rome in 2022. I'm more flexible. I'll go where my budget takes me, and that allows me to see more of the world without breaking the bank. I hope that you found this video helpful. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also hit subscribe. I would love to welcome you to my YouTube family. Happy planning, and I will speak to you in the next one. Bye.